They call it the heart of the city, a massive green canvas of possibilities in the middle of the city of Oceanside. But how did the city of Oceanside come to own these many acres? What was here before, and what are the plans for the future? Join me, John Daly, as I share with you the story of El Corazon. The history of El Corazon goes back to when the Spanish and later the Mexican explorers settled in this area. Since this property was not identified as portions of the early land grants given by either the Spanish or Mexican governments, it would later become known as deeded land when California became a state in 1850. The federal government enacted the 1862 Homestead Act, which allowed settlement of public lands and required only residence, improvement, and cultivation of the land. Any person, a citizen, or a person intending to become a citizen, 21 years of age or older, and head of household could submit an application. With 5 years residence, improvements, and cultivation, and only a $15 fee, they could get 160 acres. That's about 9 cents an acre. What a deal. This was repealed in 1976. These grants were called patents at the time, and the first one in the Oceanside area was issued to Andrew Jackson Myers in 1883, which would become downtown Oceanside. The patents that would make up portions of El Corazon were issued to Henry Fisher in 1889, Antonio Gonzalez in 1890, and Nicholas Gonzalez in 1891. As reported in the Oceanside Blade, July 6, 1927, the Crystal Silica Company leases land to operate a glass sand plant. M.A. Kite, superintendent of production and now the moving spirit of the Crystal Silica Company, was in Oceanside during the week for starting operations on the glass sand plant. Operations began on the Oscar Chute property east of Oceanside. Industrial sand and gravel, often called silica, silica sand, and quartz sand, includes sands and gravels with high silicon dioxide content. These sands are used in glassmaking, for foundry, abrasive, and hydraulic fracturing, and many other industrial uses. The specifications for each use may vary, but silica resources for most uses are abundant on this property. In almost all cases, silica mining uses open pit or dredging methods with standard mining equipment. Except for temporarily disturbing the immediate area while mining operations are active, sand and gravel mining usually have limited environmental impact. This 1928 photo shows silica plant in the background. In the 1930s, groundwater is a critical element of California's water supply. Crystal Silica needed backup to guarantee a dependable supply of water. Their solution was to annex to the city of Oceanside in order to use municipal water as backup. Annexation was completed in 1930. They also reused water from their processing operation. This 1930 photo shows a tractor grading at the silica property. This photo of the silica plant in 1946 shows a much larger capacity. This 1956 photo shows the plant expansion as well as mining operation moving to the north of the property. This shows continued expansion of the plant rail operation in 1957. This 1959 photo shows many ponds being used to clarify the water prior to its reuse. Sophie and Harry Cubison had acquired large tracts of the area's land and developed a lemon grove that was the largest in America for a while. The life of Sophie Cubison is a story all unto itself.
Sophie Hutching was born near San Diego in 1892 to a family of lima bean farmers. To earn money for college, she started cooking for farm laborers during the summer and through the autumn harvest. With only one assistant, she cooked for 40 men in 2 mobile kitchens, 5 meals a day. She also baked breads, cakes, donuts, cookies, and pies for the farm workers. Sophie saved up enough money to attend California Polytechnic University, where she was elected class president before graduating with a degree in home economics in 1912. This was at a time when only about 5% of all American women went to college. In 1916, she married Harry G. Cubison of Los Angeles, taking his surname. As fate would now have it, Sophie would be the one who turned Cubison into a household name. Sophie and Harry soon started a bakery together. Sophie did the baking, producing the same whole wheat breads that farm laborers had loved when she'd worked in the fields as a teenager. Harry did the soliciting and drove the delivery truck. The business boomed. Over the next 25 years, Sophie and Harry grew the company until it was a leading national producer of baked goods. Sophie was one of the first national producers of Melba toast, and using her expertise with bread, she invented the entire category of poultry stuffing mixes that are now familiar to every American who's ever roasted a Thanksgiving turkey. By mid-century, Mrs. Cubison's brand was a household name. Over the next 70 years, Mrs. Cubison's became a trusted and loved brand in the kitchen, an important part of family cooking, passed along from mothers to daughters.
In 1964, U.S. Silica, Ottawa Silica, and Oceanside Realty and Development purchased the plant and surrounding acreage, including the Cubison property, for mining and future development. The new owners not only bought all of the stock for the Crystal Silica Corporation, they also bought a lot of real estate. Not only the property presently being mined, but the surrounding acreage, which would become Rancho de Oro. It also leased some of the Tolone Ranch lands, which extends its operation to Mission Avenue. This 1964 aerial photograph shows early development of the mall in Carlsbad and U.S. Silica to the north. This photo for 1965 shows a huge expansion of the plant and continued use of clarifying ponds. These are 100-pound bags of silica sand. This 1976 photo shows mining north of Oceanside Boulevard. In 1977, the desilting ponds collapsed, closing Oceanside Boulevard and El Camino Real. Silt, sand, and water filled the Loma Alta Creek and threatened office and industrial buildings almost to Buccaneer Beach. This 1979 aerial photo shows the breadth of mining on the property. Crystal Silica was sold to Ottawa Silica and operated in an intense way on both sides of Oceanside Boulevard. The south side is where the production facility is, which is now Evergreen Nursery. This is a section to be open pit mined. The water was desilted in one of the many ponds used from the beginning. Estimated sand production from the beginning was 20 million cubic yards, generating over $900 million in sales. These numbers are probably much lower than the actual amounts produced. In 1979, land planners, the Lightfoot Group, planned the first mapping of development surrounding Rancho de Oro. This aerial shows huge settling ponds and land uses for Ivy Ranch development. This planning map shows the development of the Ivy Ranch planned by Hahn Development, which included Rancho de Oro, which Hahn never developed. This planning map shows El Corazon once the city took ownership and began the planning process, which continues today. Moody's El Corazon Reclamation has been working since 1997, recycling concrete and asphalt, as well as mitigating many of the settling ponds. This activity provides 50% of the state-required waste stream diversion for the city of Oceanside. They also provide free rocks, sand, gravel, DG, and base material, as well as sandbags for the Oceanside residents. In 1995, the city's planning director's wife, Sandy Blessing, offers the name El Corazon, Heart of the City, which was soon adopted as its name. In 1995, Agri-Service begins processing green waste. Today, they provide a repository for all green waste in the city and are now tackling the food waste challenge. Also in 1995, the city began planning for El Corazon's future through community involvement.
With most land that becomes park in the city is given to the city by developers, and developers typically don't give away the land that's prime property that they think they can get the most money out of.
Right, this was distressed property.
They give away distressed property. But what's distressed from a developer's point of view is a unique potential from the community's point of view.
It'll be something that's positive out here, and when the rest of the El Corazon is finished, it will be the crown jewel of Oceanside, besides our beaches and harbors.
In 2009, the El Corazon Senior Center opened its doors.
Today is the ceremonial groundbreaking for the sports complex at El Corazon. So we've got 20 wonderful multi-use sports fields, a park for the community, and a half-mile hiking trail. So it's a wonderful day for Oceanside.
SoCal Soccer in Oceanside opened their fields for play in 2014. This 97-acre sports complex offers 20 championship fields for the best soccer in the country. Crowds of nearly 10,000 are not uncommon. The city approved a new aquatic center next to the senior center and is awaiting funding at this time. This has been the first part of an ongoing story about El Corazon. Acres and acres of possibilities in the heart of our city. Many residents labored for years when this was a sand mine, providing the raw materials that help build North County and the everyday products we all use. Now, a new generation of nature lovers, young athletes, seniors, and visitors are enjoying this gift of the land we call El Corazon.